Muy buenos dias, everyone. I hope everybody's doing well, blessed, and enjoying family. And as always, muchísimas gracias for you guys' words, prayers, and your amazing support. You know, I'm so humbled by it. I wish I had the correct words to express, but do know, de cora, se los agradezco. I appreciate you. Also, a dispensa ahead of time, right? If I sound acá y allá, it is 5:30 in the morning. You know, I got a long day today ahead. You know, thank you God for it. But I wasn't able to jump on and tell you yesterday 'cause I got here very late. But today at noon, I am going to be able to finish my last chemotherapy. And but I do want to leave, you know, a recording so my niece, when she has time, either today Friday or tomorrow Saturday, upload it for you guys so that, you know, I don't just go MIA on you guys. But anyways, today's story I want to talk about a real cool camarada, right? That, that I had the pleasure of meeting and rubbing elbows to some degree, right? And they used to call him, Sin from Compton, or call him till this day. But, you know, the first spot me and Sin, were together at was in Solano, right? But, it was more so in the hole, 'cause as you guys know, that little part in my story, we were getting our bubs hanged into us, right? And then from there, we both got the 128G, got shot across the street, pending transfer, and then it went up again, right? And we went to Willis, and that's where we spent the most time, at least, you know, messing with each other, getting to know each other. And me and the homie, we did the front thing when it came to Rutina on the yard, right? And he was a cool homie. He was something different, you know, if I may say it like that, 'cause you know, he was from Seven O's, Compton, but he didn't have not one tattoo on him, you know, and but he was with it, you know. He was with it in the sense that he used to be a little knucklehead when it came to writing, but he didn't drink. So I came to like the camarada, right? Not to minimize those camaradas that did like them things, not to say that I didn't like them or, you know, in that sense. But it was just, he was a cool homie. You know, we actually from back of it, we cut the bus and they shot me to Ironwood and they shot him, I believe you know, we split it ways there. And, you know, time went by. You know, I went through my little trip in Ironwood, Tehachapi. Then I hit Corcoran. And in Corcoran, as I mentioned before, you know, I had another camarada that, he was supporting me with taking care of A section, right? He was from Tortillas Flats. And as you guys know, I don't really like to put real names out there, but this individual, as you guys will get to see, I don't mind, right? Which was Alejandro Ortiz. You know, he had all the credentials when it came to, we went out to the concrete yard together. He knew good gente, you know, before I assigned section guys to run it, you know, there was certain avenues I took to make sure, which it all came back that, you know, he was in touch with his primo, Woody from Seven O's, right? Termite was Woody's primo. And a couple other pilis. Like I said, when I got there, there was camaradas there that they had that that reach if they wanted to, right? To take control. But, just being sincere, a lot of people that knew Artie's background didn't really want to do it for Artie, right? And anyways, I don't want to sideline. On my next story, I'm going to touch on this individual. Do recall him, please. So as things went by, one day we were on the yard and the conversation uprose that, he also knew Sin, right? I don't know from the calles, from the county, I don't know. But they were under Termite's primo, Woody, the Pili Woody, right? From Seven O's. They were both working underneath them. Within time, the homie Sin, something happened out there in Centinela that he ended up catching a shoe term, right? That's the one thing about prison that it always like not surprised me, but it's like, you know, I came to really see that prison system when it came to our gente is small, right? Real small. Everybody knows everybody. And, anyways, Sin ended up getting there. And, at first it was all hee hee ha ha, right? With Termite. Cause he landed, I believe, in two left. So we wanted to move him over here. So we start doing all the proper steps to do so. And we eventually were able to get it done and have him, we had to move them with Termite, right? In A section. So by then we started going out to concrete yard together, group yard. And as we're going out, just to keep it a buck, I always used to plug in, Billy's cause I know in some sense they had the ends to cover it, right? But when it came to camaradas, I didn't like plugging them in with my familia for the reason that a lot of things could go wrong, right? It could go wrong either way with Billy's, but, there's a lesser chance, right? And, but, Sin basically laid it down and he was short to the house, and, he laid it down that he wanted to get out there and start building a good base for Woody. Cause, well, those that know Woody know that his strongest area is Orange County and San Diego, right? That's where he has most of his workers at. But, that was, Sin's homeboy from the neighborhood, his señor, and he wanted to build a base for him out there, right? A real good one. So, he asked me if I could plug him in with someone, cause of course he didn't know about my family, cause it was just things that were never need to be said, right? Especially when, well, for those that been there know, when, and those times it was war everywhere we went, so you met camaradas, of course, aquí estoy, lo que se ocupe, en lo que te pueda ayudar, pum pum, but at the end of the day we weren't gonna be there for years, right? To build that base with one another. So, anyways, things unfolded, and I basically told him that, yeah, I could help him out, As a matter of fact, near his town, which I'm just not gonna put marcas for obvious reasons, right? There was people out there that had whatever he wanted, right? But he needed to ponerse bonito con los precios, right? Because there was none of that. Hey, I got for two and then front me 10, right? None of that. The minute you get at them, hey, 20, llegas y papiro tras papiro, and, you enjoy your stuff and you allow them to pull out and enjoy the feria, right? And, he was well understood when it came to this. Again, the main reason was because of his level of clecha and, you know, he ain't used. So, anyways, he got, Woody, however, he did his thing to do so, and they lined up things in order the way they wanted things, right? And, Sin eventually ended up hitting the calles. And, to some sense, you can say we stood in touch, right? But it was more on, todo está bien. It was more my worriness, right? Paniqueado yo, right? Cause, well, well, I wish I could, be more clear on it, but, you know, I hated to guide someone towards my family and have them sit on it, right? Sit on the feria and put them in the cross where they have to react and, you know, get all their cha-cha from being situated to having to struggle and reorganize, restructure or whatever, you know. So it's always in the back of my head. That's why I always make sure, you know, and I'm gonna go ahead. When it came to Billy, I'm gonna go ahead and plug you guys in, and I don't want nothing. I don't even want you to turn around and say gracias, you know, you guys do your thing, I'm out. So anyway, but everything went cool, right? It went down to the dot, you know. And, I personally asked, you know, saying, hey, no mas, this is your thing. When it comes to the Billy, don't ever mention my name, right? I don't want him to, if you're out the picture for him to now address me to get things done, right? Cause, I don't want to be involved in that. And, but Sin didn't listen, right? He felt obligated to or whatever. But, I didn't get a backlash from it. I just got a gracias, right? And then I'm a appeal from Woody for it because things were unfolding pretty good on the calles. But you see, there was a pushback. There was a pushback and, it was coming from Joker, you know, from Watts, cause I guess during the mix, different avenidas started opening up, which lead to Watts or whatever, you know, the Jale, the Reach, uh, the prices. I don't know how Sim was working on the streets, you know. My concern was, you know, dando y dando and ábranse pa su lado, right? Don't mix, business with pleasure, right? It's just a lo que va, va. You do your thing and that's it. But, what was happening is basically, somebody was giving the casitas up. Or I don't know if they were casitas, you know, I would be BSing you, but whatever, wherever Sin had the destination for that dulce to be held at, somehow it was getting hit, right? People were getting hurt, laid down, and they were getting emptied out. You know, and the rumors, you know, it's a small world, so the rumors started surfacing that, it was Joker's crew. But again, it's a whole bunch of he said, she said, and, for those that are righteous know, you know, you can't, for example, if Sam would have said like, brought it up to Woody and say, hey, they're saying it's your brother, or you're a sureño. Where's the papiro? Where's the paperwork at? You don't have it? You got no right to speak on my brother like this and you're done. So they basically cornered camaradas to that, you know, to bite the bullet, right? To tiptoe around things. But after a couple times, it got too out there, right? So the losses started flaring out. And, you know, it came a point where, Woody addressed Sin to ask for a favor when it came to, you know, adelántame. And, I got asked, and I'm gonna be sincere with you, I straight up said, chales, don't do it. Si no traen lo que va a hacer cantar al gallo, what's gonna make things sing, right? Don't do nothing. You know, cause I was aware of the little headaches that at the moment, you know, I had things to deal with where I was at, and I don't know, you know, I always seem to put everything in the sidelines and pay attention, but not fully, right? To sit down and really scope it out and dissect it and the way things should be done, cause I had other responsibilities, right? But, everything that was happening on the streets wasn't coming from Sin. Things that were happening on the streets were being told to me on the group yard by Termite. You know, and, as, again, the losses were real obvious, right? To the point where now Sin was up to the knees in debt with Woody. Cause Woody started putting out of pocket. Is that something you don't do with them, right? You don't get in their pockets. They get in yours. But anyways, again, there was some type of understanding or tolerance because they were both 7-0, right? Different of ages, but nevertheless, they were neighborhood homies, right? So that had to have some weight. Plus, Sin opened up that avenue to get that, to base it on the calles, to get it out there. And Woody was getting his prices and his thing. Everything was good up until the point where somehow they moved the spot and it got hit. They moved the spot and it was getting hit. Which in my next episode I will close it, put it together for you guys. But I want to concentrate on Sin, right? This by no way, shape, or form was Sin's fault, which is the point of this story, right? You know, as camaradas or as young Southsiders starting to want to be somebody, to have a name, whatever, right? I think that's part of us ever since we get jumped in, right? It's always that más chingón trip that we want to have. And of course, you know, that he said, she said, it's always el más chingón is the one that's with these dudes, right? Against the misled lies, right? And, anyways, Sin was trying to do it and, things went south for him. You know, and, again, when we're Southsiders, we want to be there, take on the responsibility without really knowing las máscaras that the Pilis have, right? Cause everything is he, ha, 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 I love you. Yeah, buen trabajo, camarada, or whatever. Up into something's not to their liking. Then all that, you know, have no type of meaning. And, take on the responsibility again with, just to be sincere, none of us before taking on that have the proper clecha to really comprehend how things are or how, or best said, where things can lead to, right? And, anyways, you know, it got told to Joker and Woody that Sin was the one stating that it was Joker and his faction, the one, you know, removing everything to be able to get their stuff out there and not have that high competition where there's a gang in that area, right? It wasn't just them, right? And, just some things unfolded on the calles and Sin just happened to find himself back in county. And, you know, from biting the bullet for himself and he tried to plead his case, but, you know, there was always someone in their ear, you know, pumping them up against him. And that whatever Sin did for them had no meaning. Cause Amapil just went out and said, I want you to put 2 dudes on him. But make sure you put the correct dudes. And I want him out. You know, I don't want no strikes. I want him out. So again, it's never enough of what you try to do for them or you do for them. What you give up to please them. It always matters them. And what you could physically do for them. If not, you know, don't allow nobody to pick you up in this tornado of lies and tell you everything is coated by candy. Cause it's not. You know, I saw. Well, you guys are gonna trip. You know, how it all ties in together. Again, you know, I was not gonna say in the mix of these things, but it just happened to be unfolding. Well, you guys probably get it by now, you know, due to weight and which in reality is what has meaning with them, right? So I was aware of everything that was happening due to it. And again, at the time I didn't really notice that the one that was well informed was right there in the block with me, right? And I tried, you know, to speak up for Sin to some sense, right? Cause I couldn't get involved in what in reality I want no part of from the beginning, right? But, when it was in county, when everything was real clear that he was gonna get he was gonna get something sent to him. There was not gonna be no compassion. Um, and I didn't get not one reply back, right? Basically, he didn't need to reply. With that alone, he said, you know, shut it. It's none of your business. So that was that for me. And a few days later is when he got hit. They didn't take his life, but he got hit, and that was that. So for all those that have that mentality due to cats lying to you, look at this glimpse I'm opening up for what it is. Ruin your life. Here was an individual that didn't have to go to that extent to look out for his homeboy, for his Billy from his neighborhood. To get out and risk his life, putting money in his pocket, doing things. You know, what's about? Because he did catch, I'm not sure how much time, but for what he was busted for, he was going to catch time. 2 strikes, and what he did to defend Woody's pride was going to give him a lot of time. And but it didn't have no type of meaning, right? Again, you could go on and push, 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 but always keep in mind, when you involve yourself on that, you're only good for the time that you're able to provide for them. All that extra stuff, I did this, I sacrificed this, I did this, this, and that. Don't ever expect anything in return. Because that's a lie, that's a myth. This is a perfect example, and I don't know why it always happens like this, but it seems that it's easier for Baileys or even camaradas to dispose of their own homies from their neighborhood. This was something that I always couldn't wrap my head around. Cause, they're your barrio. How could it be that easy, right? But again, once you're in that pedestal, like they say when they get voted in, right? Only the M matters. All that's extra stuff that, so keep those pinpoints in your mind, I ain't nobody for you to listen to me. At least the young ones, right? Never been nobody. But I could tell you from her first-hand experience that, you know, that's the best word I could do, heartache. You're gonna pump yourself up to go into something blindfolded. But when you're able to get to the light and take those blindfolds off, just use not just myself, but many people that are on your experiences to be damn, I ain't that dumb. I'll make something happen. I'm gonna get out this gutter. And instead of being in a spot where I need for draw for canteen, show up Christmas, birthdays to your jefitos, to your family. Mira, ahí te va. Value that. That has value. Nunca bajes bandera. Never go out sideways, but don't go into a myth either. But anyways, mi gentes, it's real early. I have to get up and get things done because once noon come and they put that chemo in me, I know the next 3 days or so are not going to be pretty. So, but again, I will, before I go to chemo, put the second part of this to tie everything up together, which it had to do with Joker and some other players. And you guys will probably be like, what? And disculpenme, I don't mean to end it in a suspense, but, and you guys know I don't like to bore you with long videos, cause, well, that's how I am, I'm real conscious on disrespect, nah. Sometimes I feel I'm doing so by making my videos so long with you. But anyways, again, my love, blessings. I hope everybody has an awesome Friday.